Well, I started off as an impressionist early on. Before that, when I was 12 years old, I grew up on a ranch, and an art dealer named Jim Clark from Scottsdale, Arizona was passing through New Mexico, stopping at all the ranch headquarters trying to sell some Western art paintings that he had. And he saw some of my sculpture and took it back and cast it into bronze and started marketing my work when I was in high school. After I went into the military, I couldn't carry my heavy supplies with me, so I started painting more in oil. And when I returned from the military, he called me up and said, hey, Kim, I heard you're out of the military. What are you doing now? And I told him I was working in oil. I ended up meeting him in Santa Fe. The next year, he took a number of my paintings out to Arizona and started marketing them. The next year, I was invited into the Society of American Impressionists. And so at first, I painted as an impressionist. And the first major show that I went to, the society had 30 national members. I was the youngest. I was, I think, maybe 25. And I went to the show in St. Louis, and I saw my work all the way across the room, and I was so excited to be showing with, big name artists. I mean, it was, a chance of a lifetime for me. I shot over to look at my work, and I got almost up to the painting, and I looked, and it was not my work. And so at that point, I started searching my own roots. I came from a ranching heritage, and my parents had known Peter Hurd and Henriette Wyeth. When I was a young boy, my father did photojournalism for a lot of the big magazines during their heyday, and so whenever we passed through different parts of the country, he would always contact the artist, and I was always tagging along with him. Then later on, Alexandra Hogue, who was one of the Dallas Nine, took me under his wing in the early 80s and mentored me. He had been mentored by Ernest Blumenschein, and I think, he was in his 80s, and I think he was looking to pass those things on to the next generation. So all of those different things came into my work as I started searching, and over a 3 or 4 year period, I finally found my own identity as an artist. There's two major schools of Western art today. There's what we would call the modern West, or New West, as the show's called, and then there's traditional Western realism. Now, you can follow through the path. It's sort of like a roller coaster, and there's a rise and fall of these various types of work. But what I would say about that is I'm trying to reach the people who will never be interested in the West by Western realists. They look at Western realism, and it's of no interest to them. It's different types of work. It's a different style. I'm trying to reach this group of people that will never be reached by Western realism. Western realists are trying to reach this group of people that will never be reached by me.